welcome to the Space Cats morning Space Chats hour. I don't think I said that right. I can't remember. It's been a while since we've recorded. We just double checked and it was like November when our last episode came out and September when we recorded it. So we were literally like remembering what a Zoom feels like. I am Zadikat Sun Portal, and this is my co-host.
Red Pirate KK in the house with Tim
And
Curry.
yes, with Tim Curry, our Pleiadian kitty advisor.
Get to see her.
Oh, she's so friggin' cute. Wait, Tim Curry wasn't there with last time, right?
No, I
This is a new
forgot.
addition to your household. Okay, wait,
Yeah.
before we get to that, I'm just
Okay.
going to say we're coming to you live. Well, I guess not really live, but anyway, we're coming to you on Leap Day, so February 29th, and which is very exciting. And we have a fun plan for this episode, which involves doing a leaping journey into the future to see what we see and smell and hear. So that's really exciting. And this episode will be available on video on Spotify, and you can listen to it on audio elsewhere, iTunes, wherever you listen to the podcast that you find us. And please feel free to leave us good reviews and 5-star reviews or things so more people find us. I think that's everything about the date and time and stuff. But yeah, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. She portaled onto my porch the day before Halloween. And I was at first just, I walked outside to let Bert and Guinan out. And then this cat was like, meow, on the blanket that I have out there for the cats. And I was like, fuck, what now? I have this cat. Like, I don't know. I was a little bit upset at first just because I didn't want other cats. And now, but as soon as I got over that shock in like 2 seconds, I was like, okay, she's obviously supposed to be here. Like, I knew she was soul family pretty much immediately because things just are happening that I know I just got to roll with. And she's here. Anyway, she's the fucking best. So obviously I'm happy that she's here. But I had to work that day. So I just like put some food out. She wasn't in super great shape. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put some food out. She ate. It was nice. And I wrapped her up in the blanket because it was pretty cold. And I went to work and then I came back and I was like, if she's still here, then I'll take her in and she's supposed to be here. And of course she was still here because she's meant to be here. And so I took her in and I have a little room and I just kept her separate from the other cats for a while because obviously, you got to take her to the vet and you don't know how they're going to interact with each other. And now she's just my little soul fam, and she's like a third of a cat, like half of a cat. She's really tiny, little teeny stick legs and like little teeny triangle face, fuzzy cheeks, and she like I don't know. She feels like a Pleiadian family member in some way. And she also feels like I had a dream where she was running after me out of a house, out of my grandparents' house, which is always ancestral stuff to me. And I was like, Tim Curry, you don't need to. Also, I'm calling her Tim Curry because like Tim Curry is basically the Santa of Halloween. If you don't know who Tim Curry is, watch Rocky Horror Picture Show or Clue or any of those other. He's been in so many things, and she heard me thinking about him, and she liked his energy, and she was like, "Okay, Tim Curry." I was like, "Okay," but sometimes I call her Moth because I saw a tweet that was like, "Why do guys named Timothy go by Tim when they can go by Moth?" And I was wheezing. Yes, obviously. So sometimes I call her Moth. Anyway, um, I forget what
So
I interrupted myself. But anyway, so yeah, oh yeah, the dream where, so she was running after me outside of my grandparents' house, which is ancestral stuff and dreams for me. And I was like, Tim Curry, you don't have to just stay in the house. You don't have to come with me. And she was not going to have that. She was coming after me no matter what. So I knew she didn't have to incarnate necessarily, but she really wanted to help me out with some stuff. And so, yeah, when you just look in her eyes, you can tell that she remembers all of our past lives together and she's just kind of waiting for me to catch up. And she's really sweet and she actually likes to sleep with me and hang out with me a lot, which is not normal when I've had so many cats who just kind of like to do their own thing and aren't super cuddly. And so the fact that she's really cuddly, I'm like, "Oh my God." And my heart just like explodes every time. Um, so
she's a real
yes.
cuddle bunny, and she likes to go on adventures with you. She's good in the
Oh
car.
yeah. She likes to be in the car, which is crazy. Like I again haven't had a cat in a million years who actually enjoys being in a car. She'll meow at first a little bit, and then we get on the road, and she's just like she sleeps. She has her little carrier, and she's like do do do. And I'm thinking she's got some. I don't know. We're road trip buddies. Whatever I'm doing travel wise, because I know I'm supposed to be traveling a lot, or I'm not supposed to be, but like because I want to be traveling and I enjoy traveling, I know it is a part of my you know, soul plan to like do things in different places and go visit places and have fun. And if she likes to come with me, then I will take my little buddy with me. That again.
Yeah, she's so cute. She's such a good addition to your family.
Yeah.
Um, huzzah for Tim Curry. And she's looking real good these days.
Yeah, she's so much better. And she wasn't pregnant, which is good. Which is good. Clean bill of health. She's all fixed up and like ready to go. So she's
Adorable.
settling in.
And I have a little kitty friend who's been visiting our house too, which makes me really excited. I think I've talked about this before, but there's two kitties who live like really close to us. And one of them looks exactly like my childhood cat, Whiskerendos, my first cat, my first love cat. And he's adorable, but he's not the one who comes inside, but he's the one who lives across the way. And I can always see him. He likes to leave his house on the second floor from their window. So I always see him on the roof, like either going in or coming out or just chilling and sunning. And then he has a frenemy who's this cat. Whiskerinos moved in like not that long ago, but Friend was here the whole time. And I always the first time I saw him, I called him Friend. And he's so cute. He has such a big round moon face and these huge eyes, and he's a big boy. And when I used to take Fistique for walks, he would terrorize her, and he kind of terrorizes Whiskerinos too, although they're sort of friends. But anyway, he's one of those cats that likes to like visit other people. So he will come inside, walk around, poke his snoot in everywhere, and then usually like leave after a few minutes. But the other day he took a little nap, and it was so cute because we actually forgot he was there. And he like came walking out, and we were like, oh my God, like that feeling of having a cat and walking out from the other room from a nap. So cute.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then he took off again. So I've been really loving the like stress-free cat visits where I'm not responsible for any of his needs. I just give him a place to look around and a few pets, and sometimes he purrs, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
He's like very assertive. He does not like to be because one time I kind of was like, okay, I gotta go, you gotta leave with me again. So I kind of like picked him up to usher him out, and he was very offended that I that I like picked up his body. I was like, all right, I'm sorry.
I love the offended cat face. We're just like, excuse me.
They're so cute. So Leap Day 2024, last Leap Day was 2020.
Here we go.
And yeah, I love 30 Rock, and I was just rewatching the old clips where they like created this amazing Leap Day mythology with Leap Day William, who it turns out is from the Marianas Trench, where like I go all the time in like meditations and journeys and stuff. And anyway, I do like the idea of like seizing Leap Day to do some kind of like leap forward or something that you wouldn't necessarily always normally do. And I think before we get to that, let's just catch up a bit because it's been a while. You've got Tim Curry. You're going to be starting a new job.
Oh my God, I forgot. I didn't forget, but like I didn't plan on talking about it. So yeah, let's definitely talk about it. I think, yeah, I remember talking about the movie theater in our last recording, or at least I know I've talked about it here. So that is still going on, but I knew I was getting squeezed out by the universe because like hours were being cut, and I don't know, it didn't feel like it's kind of fallen apart in ways that I'm just like, why am I still here? Like, what's happening? Like, how is this theater still standing? Like, it doesn't feel energetically like I'm doing very much anymore. Like, I know I am still doing stuff, but it just felt like something was closing there. And so I was at the library one day checking out a movie, and the energy just felt so cool. Like the interactions all the staff were having, and I just got moved by my higher self, apparently, because this is part of the plan to work at the library, to ask if they ever hired anyone without library degrees. And the woman was like, honey, I don't have a library degree. And actually, yes, we are hiring. And so she gave me this application. And I was like, okay.
So cool.
And it's just, yeah, it's just a little part-time, library assistant kind of thing. Like sometimes you're reshelving books, sometimes you're helping people with technology or finding things, or just if people go to the library for all kinds of shit, and so you're going to just have different questions that you have no idea. I don't know, it's probably no day is going to be the same, but it's a really cool location because right outside the library there's this plaza, and they have the farmers market there on Tuesdays and Saturdays in like from May to October or whatever. And so and all these food trucks come, and there's like music, and obviously the farmers market in general is really cool. So I'm like, oh, I get to be right there. And also one of the things, I had the second interview with the woman who was in charge of that department. And she was talking about how they do pop-up library stands or
Really
something
cool.
like throughout town. And I'm still kind of getting clear on what some of the stuff is, but it sounded like sometimes they would go, you know, build relationships with businesses or something to put a pop-up stand out where a big traffic is, or I don't know, whatever it's going to be. And so at the end of the interview, because that's when it came up, and I was like, oh, that was one of my favorite parts about my job doing internship coordination at Earlham when I lived here last back in 2014 through 2016. I was like, I loved going to different sites and being, oh, do you want to partner with us? And we can give you an intern. We pay them so that you don't have to pay them, but everyone's winning because you don't want to have a student work for free. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, so it was one of my favorite things to do. And she seemed kind of interested in that. Like in a way, it felt like interesting energy wise. Like maybe at some point I would be pushed by the universe or whatever to do that kind of thing if that is what works out. So my logical mind obviously does not understand how this is like really, it doesn't pay a whole lot. It's not like it's solving all the things, but I know that it's something I'm supposed to be doing. So whatever it is that I'm doing there is a huge step in the next chapter to like build out whatever I'm here to build out. And it was very interesting because as soon as I started feeling into this job, I knew it was mine, but I couldn't. There was a huge part of me still that was like, "Shut up! Like you don't know. Like I want to be nervous because what if it's not mine?" But a bigger part of me was just like, this is your like. There's no way you're not going to get it if it is for you. And so the part of me that wanted to be anxious was like, okay, well I can be anxious if I'm like, if I think that maybe it's not for me, so then I won't get it. Then what do I do? So I was kind of going back and forth, but I mostly had a really calm perspective on it and kept really, cool as far as like a calm center. And then when I got the email saying that the job was mine, I was like, oh my God. And all this tension kind of just really melted away. Cause I was like, okay, I did it. Like I knew it was mine and I let it work out in my favor. So who knows? But I start on March 11th. So we'll see what goes on there.
And that's really cool what you said about keeping a calm center. That's what the past few months, especially since January, have felt like to me is I'm finally getting to the place where the phase of my journey that I was in feels like it's closing or closed, and I can
Yes.
start to look back on it with perspective, and realize like all this stuff about that phase and how it involved a lot of like intensity, and then like really this new phase feels like being the like the focus is a lot about like staying in a calm centered place while things unfold around, and like the calm centered place just kind of stays as it is, which is a nice feeling. And it involves like just making choices choice by choice of like what feels like the calm centered choice in this. And at the same time, there's a lot of like for me surrender energy to this year that is just like coming in, but the calm-centered stuff helps with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That was exactly what I was feeling into, especially once that crazy energy from January and the first part of February was finally fading out. And I felt like that calm center came back finally. It felt like surrender, but in a way that actually feels soothing. Like it actually, it's half the time when I was working on surrender or whatever in the past few years, it felt like a fight. I was fighting a current in a river or something. And like I knew I needed to just relax, but all the programming telling me that I couldn't relax was just really rearing its ugly head. And now I can just feel like I'm relaxing in the river, and I know I'm going to know when I need to take action, which is where my anxiety was keeping me struggling in that surrender river, because I was like, well, am I not doing enough? Blah, blah, all the just really, anyway, all those not self mind things. But now I don't feel that urgency, or if I do feel the urgency, it's very kind of quiet, like old programs, because of that open root that I have in human design. And I'm just like, it's going to happen when it happens, and I'm okay. Nothing, it's not like all my problems have been solved or whatever, but I have this just really spaciousness around it where I can really just relax, and I don't feel like surrender is scary. Who knows if that right, that's how I feel right now. But yeah, this year definitely feels like a year where you get to, well, I'm speaking for myself, where I get to like hang out in the river and just kind of watch things unfold. And I know it doesn't feel like there's obstacles anymore. Like anything that's coming through is supposed to be coming through. And I take action when I know I need to take action. And I can feel when I need to do that, instead of like, do I take it now? But yeah, it feels like this year is a really big fun surrender, like it takes the pressure off kind of thing. I don't know if I even described that well enough, but you said that and I was like, yeah, that's how I've been feeling.
totally.
I think Mr. Miyagi is back. Sorry
Oh,
for anyone. No, nobody has any, unless you're watching the video. I just heard a noise and I looked outside because it was cats fighting. And there's a cat who comes around sometimes, and I call him Mr. Miyagi because he just reminds me of this, wise old Asian dragon. That's his energy. And he and Guinan are practicing kung fu. So I don't really know. That's what that was. But I haven't seen him in a while. So I was kind of sad that I haven't seen him. And he's back today. So
wow.
yay.
Everyone's coming in for this episode for Leap Day.
Yeah.
Everyone's bringing their energies around. That's so cool. Yeah. I am sorry, I'm just checking with my spleen. I'm not going to do a huge review of my life, but I will say that the Mara and the Bad Wolf children's book, it's published. It's published.
Yay.
It's up, available on my website. There's like a ongoing launch process happening around it. But and I built a website, someportalmedia.com, and so you can get the book there, but also I do inner child oracle card. So I make my handmade oracle cards that I make, but I make one for your inner child, or two actually, and then I do a reading. And so that was a lot of what I was doing in the fall, was setting all of that up, getting the website set up, getting the book printed and published. And so that's been fun, having that be starting to be out in the world. That's been like super exciting. And I'm actually starting to write a sequel for Mara and the Bad Wolf now too. So yeah, that's been
Fuck yeah. That's
been
cool.
fun.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy. This book is awesome. I love it.
So yeah, so stay tuned for me to talk more. I'll try to keep talking a lot about it because I know I'm supposed to. But it was one of the nicest things of last year was picking it up from the printers and seeing it, because I found this incredible printer who's local, who was like in a price range it wasn't just their price range, but they were like, would do small batches, which normally with bulk printing is not done. And they just did such a good job, and it looks so beautiful.
It does, yeah.
And so that was just so nice to get to actually finally hold it in my
Yay.
hands. Yeah, and I have it on my bookshelf up now.
That was fun to celebrate with you. I really liked that. It was cool. So go buy the book, people. It's worth it. It's fun.
And if you're just intrigued and want to read a copy, there's also an offer on the website. If you join my email list, you can get a free copy of the ebook, so you can just check it out like that too if you want. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that for life stuff.
Okay.
I'm just feeling into, maybe we should do
Take
our
it, leap.
leap day. Oh, I forgot to mention that the whole point, if you haven't watched 30 Rock, the whole point of leap day is supposed to be, it's like you treat it like a magical day where there's like no, they're like, what real life is for March? This is the tag, like like nothing you do on leap day counts. Real life is for March. Very, yeah. And so you can like take all these crazy risks. I kind of just do also want to talk about how reality has been super like increasing in its fluidity.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like there have been like impossible things happening that are possible, not always or all, but like little things here and there where it was like, no, that can't happen. It's like a lot about like what you think you don't know kind of energy even more. And just a lot of weird timeline stuff where the thing where like if you're taking a walk and like the people start repeating, you start seeing the same people and you're like, wait, that person just passed me like in the other direction. How are they coming past me again? Kind of stuff. A lot of interesting loopy stuff like that. And what I've personally noticed is that like more people in my close circle are like really noticing it and like feeling it as well. Whereas before maybe they would have just tuned it out. And so that's been interesting.
Yeah. I love how you said it's making you rethink what you thought you knew, because that's what I've been feeling for Pluto in Aquarius. I don't think I'm the only one, obviously. Plenty of astrologers think this, but like Aquarius, every zodiac sign has a phrase, and Aquarius is I know. And it's also ruled by Saturn, which is reality, whatever. So Pluto comes in and like decimates all of that sign's, themes or whatever, and exposes the rot and just turns everything upside down. So it's now that Pluto is in Aquarius, it's basically turning everything upside down about what you are. And Aquarius is a fixed sign. So it's like, what are you fixed? What do you think that you know about reality? That's gonna be, it's gonna be overturned. So just surrender.
So just surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to think if there's any other examples of like trippy shit or like weird dream stuff lately. There's been so many.
I know.
Oh, also rainbow energy is so strong. There's like rainbow, you know when there's kind of like a lens flare when you're watching something in a movie or something and it creates a rainbow prism on the screen, but it's everywhere. And it's in shows where it doesn't make sense that they would like not filter it. You know what I mean? Like it's and it's in like cartoons. It's like everywhere, just rainbows, rainbows, rainbows. So that's been really nice too.
Yeah, it has been. I wonder if that means like, I mean, it can mean so many different things, but I feel like because senses are getting heightened. Like I can hear things, I can taste things that are just undertones of, I just never would have experienced that before, whatever this is that we're experiencing. And so maybe we're going to be seeing more colors, or like, I don't know, something with that.
Yeah.
Feels fun.
I've had so many dreams where I see beautiful animals that aren't like, it's like a heightened version of an animal that exists, or it's like a
Mm,
different, oh, also crazy new animals. Like suddenly there's all these black and white dolphins.
those were
A
cool
few
videos
years
that you
ago it
sent.
was pink dolphins, and it was like, okay, pink dolphins are a thing. And now it's like black and white. Like I've literally,
I've
like
never
there's
seen that.
only so many things. Like, nope, there's more. So there's two separate, one of them doesn't have a dorsal fin, so it looks even more otherworldly
Crazy.
and like
Mhm.
trippy. And then one of them looks like extremely black and white. Somebody
Yeah.
said like a sea panda.
Oh yeah.
And they have like this, it's like it feels like orca
Mhm.
dolphin hybrid energy. Oh my god, watching so many shows about whales too, and their beautiful songs and ways of
Oh
communicating.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you just talked about the whales and the songs, and I was like, I know I texted the group chat about it, but the whale that was the only whale that sang out at 52 hertz, and everyone was so worried about him being lonely. There's now another whale that answered back at 52 hertz, and it just felt like the weirdos finding each other, like soul families coming together, and it was just a really nice story because I was kind of worried about him too, but I knew that also it takes the time it takes to find your soul family. So it's not like he was, you know, it was part of the plan to just take the time it takes to find that other whale at 52 hertz. But
So nice.
it was nice.
Also, in our group chat that you and I have with our friend Pearl, magical friend Pearl, um, she sent an image of like a sea dragon, like a drawing or something,
Mm.
an illustration, uh, a few weeks ago, and I got this hit. I was like, oh, it feels like the year of the dragon. Um, we're gonna like see like actual like real life dragons show up on the planet. Cut to a few days ago, these archaeologists in, is it archaeologists? Am I right using that word right?
I
That dig
think
up
so.
bones. They
Yeah.
dug up this like skeleton, and they're calling it a dragon, and it's like a sea creature, and it had this super long neck, and they're like, it doesn't make sense, and it's so trippy and all this stuff.
So
So
cool.
we've got our first year of the dragon, real dragon. Keep you
Yeah.
apprised of any further
They found that in
ones.
Scotland, right? I think it was
I
Scotland.
think they found it in China, but there was a
Oh.
Scottish,
Oh, okay. My bad.
there was a Scottish archaeologist, but it may be the reverse.
I don't. I knew Scotland was involved at some point because I expected it. I knew there was like it was China and Scotland. Anyway, who cares? But it was cool that there was a
Oh,
Scottish
yeah,
tie because that's not. It's like
yeah, yeah. He was like, he had a funny way of like a amusing Scottish way of putting things. Like I think he was quite, I forget what he said, but he was pretty candid about it being like a really weird. He was basically like, "This is some trippy shit," you know. um, yeah, and oh, and the weather going all over the place,
holy shit. Yeah.
loopy stuff too.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, the year of the rabbit for me continues into the year. There's a lot of overlap. Um, feels like the year of the tiger has finally like
2 years later.
yeah. So that's what's interesting,
That's
right?
yeah.
Like it's like very ongoing. And so if you feel like you didn't squeeze all the juice out of the year of the rabbit, don't worry, it's still very much present with us. Um yeah, but rabbit and dragon energy. Apparently those are the two luckiest
Hmm.
signs of the Chinese zodiac. My friend who's a rabbit and his partner is a dragon, he was telling me that.
Oh
Oops, excuse
yeah.
me. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, sneeze.
A special rabbit sneeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the year of, it's going to be really interesting. Oh, also I've just been getting so many things about like um not it goes with the surrendering energy and being in that, like, just allowing what to happen, not doing a lot of oracling about what this year, like normally around this time, I would be like, oh, what is this year going to hold? And I would do a whole spread and stuff. And they're like, no, don't do that. Just see what
Same.
comes
Yeah.
and play with it. And don't get hung up on like, this needs to happen or that needs to happen, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing, oh, sorry.
No, I'm going to agree with you because I was in a class where we were doing like a year ahead tarot spread and I couldn't do it. Like my body wouldn't let me. Anyway, yeah.
Yep. And so another interesting shift that I've noticed for me is when I used to do healing, energy healing or energy like shadow work or soul integration sessions with people, there would always be messages for me as well as for like that person would come to me and it was like because I needed to hear that message too. And so when I started doing these inner child work calls, I was like, oh, I just had a realization. I was like, there's still going to be messages, but it's not about healing because you're not in a healing phase anymore. So people who are like focused on healing aren't going to come to you for these. It's people who are like more open to like playful stuff. So the messages have been coming through and they're very much dreamy. It's very like Pluto and Aquarius. It's like very much about like the dream world and like the liminal space between the waking and dream life and all that and playing with that. And it's not a lot of like concrete material things that are coming through at all.
That makes sense, dude.
All right. I'm feeling it. I had to kind of get to a point in my body where it's actually feeling like, yes, I'm feeling it.
Okay. Got to warm up first.
Oh no, I didn't pick the lion's mane. I picked chaga, but got some mushrooms going. Some kind of mushroom support here happening, which is nice.
Oh, and my bitch's brew has mushroom coffee in it. So
the little mushrooms are always there to help. They're so wonderful. And we've got lots of kitty support as well. So basically what I wanted to do is kind of like a version of our blue skying thing that we've done in past episodes where we just talk about like what we'd like to see, but this is more just exploratory. I thought we could call in maybe a little bit of like specifically Pleiadian energy is super strong right now. But specifically like the very like Smurfy, bubbly, joyful, playful as like a way to leap into an imaginal future and just see
what we have,
see what we see and see what it feels like. And like, yeah, so
I like it.
I think just for me, it always helps me to do my little phrase at the beginning, if you don't mind, that my little affirming all the spirits and stuff. It kind of sets.
I love it.
So if you want to play along at home, maybe just listen to this when you're in a period where you can like settle in and kind of drift off and like see what comes to you. It could be completely different from the things that we're talking about, but we can all go on this journey together. All right. I'm just gonna see what comes through for me. I won't put too many restrictions on it from the outset.
Me too.
Great. All right, so I'm just gonna affirm my spirit and my loving benevolent guides and allies who support my most loving, joyful truth, and affirm your spirit and your loving guides and allies and the spirits and loving guides and allies of anybody listening, and affirm the greater spirit and ask the greater spirit to guide this fun journey, this fun exploratory journey, and ask for any guide or guides who want to show up and accompany us to just impress it. So this time I was kind of hanging out with a blue dragon that felt very Pleiadian the other day, but this one feels very rainbowy. A bit like a shimmering crystally rainbow. I don't know why his toes are scrabbling so much. There's a lot of like excitable
dancing.
scrabbling in his
Oh,
in his
okay.
hind area, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
But it's like looks like he's climbing a
Okay.
rock. He's like definitely in the upper quadrant, going up,
Okay.
going up. Yeah, I definitely got like vibes of like sensory, like tapping into sensory stuff.
That feels resonant, especially because I was just drinking my bitches brew this morning and I put honey in it and I was like, I can taste the wax. Not
Whoa.
unpleasantly. It was just I noticed it. I was like, this is interesting. All the tones that I'm picking up.
I'm getting a lot of nice upward energy movement. Um, oh yeah. He also looks like this rainbow iguana lizard that I had done a drawing of.
Ooh.
Now that's what he looks like the most right now.
Okay.
Who is a cloud dancer, so
That
he's
feels
going to,
nice.
he's very chill. He's going across some clouds right now for me. It's like a cloud bridge.
So many cloud messages past few years. I feel like all the shapes and all the worlds up in the clouds are just
Yeah.
I would take walks when I was living in Montana. I would walk along the river and I would come across these crazy cloud formations sometimes, and they just look like entire kingdoms up there. I always just wanted to go up there and
Maybe that's what we'll go to, like a cloud kingdom.
okay, I
Oh,
like
we're
it.
there. Okay, I
Okay.
felt it. It was like, yes, exactly.
Obviously. Man, when I was a kid, I used to just think that I knew there was something about clouds and I didn't I knew that you couldn't actually sleep in clouds, like you would just fall, whatever, gravity. But like there was something that didn't feel right about that at the same time. It was like, I know that there's a way to experience being in the clouds in a way that, you know, how they just look so soft and fluffy,
Yeah.
but you know they're made of water, but like that's your logical brain. So like my feeling in my body was like, but they don't, it's not like cold, wet water. It's like soft, fluffy blankets or
Yeah.
something.
Right now, I feel completely surrounded by clouds.
It's pretty nice energy.
Yeah. It really feels connected to that thing of not being too focused on like grounded material
Mhm.
stuff right now. It's like you can play in the clouds.
Yeah. There's totally a library up here, by the way. Like
Mm,
I totally see it.
what's a cloud
Cool.
library like?
Man, it's kind of solid looking, but also shape shifting in certain ways. Like you can't quite tell what you're seeing, even though it's also totally like a library, you know? It's more of a thing that you can't see with your eyes. You have to sort of feel into it, even though you can also
Mm,
still see it. I don't know. Anyway, um,
cool.
yeah, there's like I think that there's something dimensionality wise. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's like so multidimensional that you are only seeing part of it, but then as you experience more of it, you can see more of it. You just have to let your logic and reason sort of fall by the wayside.
Oh,
It's
that's
bigger
pretty.
on the inside.
Mm. He keeps
um,
looking back at me and smiling. Sometimes he looks like a chameleon too, so
okay. Yeah.
shapeshifter stuff going on.
Total shapeshifter stuff.
Okay, so the energy for me coming through sensory stuff is like how amazing the air smells.
I can taste it. Yeah.
Yeah, smells and tastes. Good point. Um I think there's a lot of like feels like there's a lot of like sensory stuff that comes just through the air, like we would normally associate with food and drink, but it's just like
Mm,
incredible
hmm
smells and tastes through the clouds,
Yeah.
which which is really nice. And it's interesting because when I did my Atlantis journey that I talked about in a previous episode, everything was up in the sky too.
Interesting.
It was like the city like was up in the air, or the civilization. This feels different than Atlantis, but some of that same.
Mhm.
Oh, it's just like so nice to be in like a weightless, like it's like the weightlessness of being able to exist in a place that's up in the air. So,
Yeah.
which isn't to say that everybody's like bouncing around for me. It's like people are like
No.
walking, like he's like crawling like an iguana normally, but it's not like.
It's kind of like those dreams where you feel like you're swimming but in the air. Were you talking
Yeah.
about that? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had a dream like that recently.
Yeah.
Where it was like reality was upended too. It was like what you think you know. It's like I kept bumping into a reality architect who was like literally turning, I think, a chunk of reality upside down. But people had been swimming through this building.
Oh, there's like
But
a
yeah, he
brown
just.
dragon in the library. Oh,
Oh,
sorry to
what?
interrupt you. I just
I was
saw
just
a
gonna say
brown
he's just
dragon.
walking around on the clouds like a lizard. What were you saying about
Nice.
the library?
I just saw a brown dragon in the library and he's having
Ooh.
tea.
Yeah, let's
And he
let's go in the library.
and he knows that I want a fire. So even though it makes again no logical sense, we're having a fire. Oh, it's so cozy in this library. What the hell? Libraries are like my TARDIS. I'm like, listen,
Mhm.
everything here, we can just do the traveling library.
Well, actually, now I think I was supposed to, because it totally went out of my head earlier, but I wanted to say, but I think I'm supposed to say it now, that libraries hold that utopia energy, right? Like they're these
Oh,
incredible resources for free
yeah.
that do so much in community hubs. And like, it's really interesting because it's like we already have utopias on the planet. Um, and I think more and more I see people paying attention to them as utopias. And it's like when when we let go of having utopias have to be perfect, right? With like holding them to some like
Yes.
weird standard. But libraries are anyway, for me, they're so utopic.
Yeah.
And the hub thing really comes through. I saw your brown dragon.
He's
It's
pretty
right
cool.
now for me it's like reading the paper.
He's reading the paper, is that what you said?
Yeah. That's actually when my partner Mike was um living on welfare. When he just after he got out of university, he and his friend would go to the library every day because they had the newspaper there for free, and they would read like paper and spend a lot of time. The library was like a really great space for him.
Nice.
And I just discovered like there's so many things that libraries do. I just discovered that our library in the city, you can get free passes to the museums and the art galleries just through the library,
Whoa. That's
which is,
awesome.
yeah, like they just, and then that thing that we were blue skying the other day about like free instruments, like
Yeah.
those, there are things in libraries like that.
Yeah. There's
Yeah, it
also a
feels like
playroom.
libraries are very transformative.
Hmm. I'm also seeing a playroom. It's not just books, it's like you come here to make art and run around.
That's so fun. I'm trying to like vibe into this is a very lizardy dragony space so far. I was just trying to vibe into seeing like what other entities seem to
Mm.
dwell in this cloud reality.
I always see birds, man. I am like, there's like a purpley black bird,
Oh, that
but
guy
he's,
was in our
yeah,
other journey,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was just like, I think he likes to come around on our journeys, at least for me. I don't know.
Oh, that's so cool. That one was okay. So we did another journey where it was very galactic, but also kind of inner Earth.
Mm.
And there was like a huge millipede creature, but that also felt like it was like a hybrid that was like we were following, and the purple bird sent transmissions that were really intense energy packets. I was like, I remember I was like, I felt them going in through my third eye. It was like, it's very cartoonish.
Pretty funny.
He was
Yeah.
cool. What's he telling you, or is he saying anything or thinking anything?
He kind of got this little smile. I don't think he was laughing when you were talking about the intense back. He was like, oopsies. Not like oopsies, but he was like, yeah, we don't have to do that today. It'll be lots
Yeah.
more gentle, sort of like the transmissions coming through are like just coming in as easily as breathing. They're just kind of part of the air, and just you breathe and they percolate into your cells.
Oh, I
So, and
just
he
had
doesn't.
a. Oops, sorry. I'll let you
No,
finish.
it's fine. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say when you said that, it made me think of the smelling and tasting the air. It was
Mhm.
like the way that people are doing that now, getting in touch with that reality and that energy is by vaping all the flavors
Oh,
that they have for vapes and stuff.
yeah. 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 This feels just really, really relaxed. Like, no worries. We're just chilling,
I'm gonna
downloading the
go
codes.
check out the playroom.
Okay.
Oh, and I was also gonna say I got like fairies earlier when I was asking.
Ooh.
Kind of like fairy sprite stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about the playroom.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, it's this idea of like I mean people have started doing it again on Earth for sure, but like this idea of like communal play spaces for
Yeah.
adults.
Hmm.
Um that was really coming through strongly, like a big ball pit, but yeah. People beings, so many of my journeys, like beings seem to really get into like sensory stuff when they're not focused so much on output. Like when you reduce the amount of material stuff that you're doing, like work and all those things, like it's like the question is like, well, how do people feel that fill their time?
Yeah.
But it's like you seem to get really into sensory.
Well, that makes sense too, because like when you're a soul, it's like it's kind of like the way I understand it is like you get the concept of tasting and sensory stuff or whatever, but when you're in a body, it's like super visceral, but in a good way. It's like, whoa, I am tasting like the wax in the honey, or like
Yeah.
I had a maple syrup that was smoked pecan or something like that. And I could taste the smoke. I mean, it was really cool. And so I think it's like we, it's easy to think about the limitations that we wanted to experience embodying, well, coming down and being in bodies. But like, there's also just this, you can wallow in how things it's very Taurus energy. Like you can just wallow in like the feel of the dirt and like
Yeah.
the taste of the air. And, you know, it's like being on mushrooms, but you're not. Like that's where it feels like
Yes.
the mushroom, you know, coming in here to be like, yeah, this is how it feels to enjoy being in a body on Earth.
Yeah. Yes. And like you're kind of bombarded with sensory input
Mhm.
right now so that you kind of get numbed.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like feels like it creates this idea that it wouldn't be enough.
Yeah. Good
The
point.
sensory input wouldn't be enough and it would just be bored or whatever. But it's like if you start removing all of the excess, it like slows you down to where
Yeah.
like spending a couple of hours just doing something and that's like purely sensory input, it feels like it doesn't feel like a couple of hours would feel that. It would just feel like, oh, like, wow, that,
Exactly.
it feels like the perfect amount of time or whatever.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
so nice. That's so soothing. I think
Yeah. I'm
for people with like neurodivergent stuff, it's
mhm.
like very soothing.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that because I knew there was something that I wanted to say, but I couldn't. And that is exactly what I was thinking. It was the neurodivergence, like that soothing energy. And I'm hearing music too. And I don't really know how to describe it other than it is very soothing and very like ethereal, for lack of a better word, but it's not like, you know, annoying elevator music type of thing. It's just like, it's a really it's the soul song of the clouds or something. And again, it's gonna have to show up however it shows up to individual listeners, but like it feels really good in my body hearing this music.
That's so nice. I really like this brown dragon. It's got such a, I mean, it feels like a version of you, to be honest.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you like him then. No.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he kind of has a little bit of a professor vibe for me,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, he's a very comforting presence.
hmm. Yeah.
It's like keeps everything going and like
Yeah. That gentle
very calm,
container.
calm and grounded. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna stay with my little rainbow iguana guy.
Mm. He's
No, he's
giving
the
off
bald
some
head.
cool energy. Like I really love him. He's just emanating. I can kind of see the energy flowing off of him, like in little gentle waves. And like again, all this is just very, very soothing. So I'm very he's got really,
Mhm.
really good energy.
I just, yeah, I immediately saw him like diving into the ball pit. He was like, rah!
Awesome.
It's interesting to be spending so much time with Pleiadian dragons because I hadn't really, I'd had a lot of like Pleiadian elf stuff and like Pleiades Mintaka sea creature stuff come
Yeah.
through, but I hadn't necessarily had a lot of feelings about Pleiadian dragons. So nice.
It's so interesting that you just said that because it made me remember that I kind of thought Tim Curry was also a dragon. And then
Mm,
part of my mind was like trying to make that not the case, where it was like, well, you can't be a cat and a dragon at the same time. Like, who fucking says, you know, like, of course she can be whatever she wants. And before she showed up, like a few months, I don't know, even maybe 6 months or something before she showed up, I had this little vision of a gray orange dragon. And she was so cool. I was like, yeah, I want she just I don't even know why she was there. It was just she wouldn't didn't sound like we had a conversation, but she was just there and it felt really good. Her presence felt really good. And Tim Curry is gray and orange.
yes.
And I was like, I think that's telling me that yes, I was correct. She's also dragon and cat and whatever else she wants to be. So
House cats are so interesting. Somebody was just pointing out the other day that it's like the big cats don't have those snaky eyes that
mm,
house cats have, like that
I don't
sneaky
think I knew
pupil
that.
thing have. They're like such little
They
dragons.
really are. Now that you're saying this, it feels so true. I mean, it already felt true, but it's nice to hear you say it out loud. It feels deeper.
I'm wondering what else my little iguana guy is. I think he just brings a lot of color. He's also pastel color, which is interesting because that's what Tim Curry is. She's a pastel tortie.
Yeah.
He's like, the way I drew him, he's like very pastel rainbows.
Did you post that drawing on Instagram or anything? Can you like put a link in the show notes for
Yeah,
this
I'll
little
put a
guy?
link.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, because I was just like, well, what's he, is he here just exploring, or is he here, but he's like exploring, but he also brings a lot of color.
He just dived off a little waterfall cliff.
Oh, he does a lot of diving. Very
Yeah.
comfortable diving. He like dove into the fall.
Yeah, apparently there's also a waterfall in this library, so
Nice. That's cool. I like, it's like very hybrid-y world. It's like it's in the clouds, but it's also got waterfalls.
yeah,
Cool.
little swimming pool off the end of the waterfall. It's like you can just hang out in this little rocky pool area.
I do agree that the clouds feel amazing. So nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like the weightlessness of space where you're like just literally floating, but it's like you've dropped so much
Density. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the clouds just kind of look like rainbowy, like depending on where you are. Sometimes they look white, and then you look over here and they can look gray or orange, or there's also rainbow.
Oh my
Like
God, yes.
whole.
And that was one of the things last year that we saw. Mike and I on one of our walks, suddenly I'd never seen it, but it was rainbows inside of clouds, like the clouds themselves.
Oh,
It was so trippy and cool.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's like a specific phenomenon,
Mm-hmm.
but very that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like just being able to go to the library and do anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, why is there a dog here? It's a gray dog. Is this for you?
It could be.
I don't
That's
know.
dogs have really been coming online for me. They were like really, I was doing a lot of integration of like my cat felt very like ethereal, spiritual, galactic aspects, and dogs were very like earth human parts. So a gray dog for me would be very like a neutral energy dog.
He's really sweet and he's
Yeah.
like smiling.
I've always been such a cat person, and like recently I was like, actually, because I met this Chihuahua, our friend's Chihuahua, who was so cute and so quiet.
Really?
Like a lot of the things with dogs for me is that their sounds are like cat sounds, but even more amplified, like the eating and stuff. But he was such a quiet eater.
Okay.
And he was so cute. And I was like, oh my God, actually adopt a little Chihuahua.
You kind of faded out there. You would want to adopt one? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was like actually considering being able to adopt a Chihuahua, or a dog of any kind is like very.
That's pretty unusual. I'm the same as, well, not the same as you, but I know what you mean. Like I'm definitely a cat person. And I like other people's dogs sometimes, but like I don't want um
Oh
But I
yeah, I
do
just
love
feel
a
like I've been
good,
having a lot of breakthroughs with dogs in reality lately where I'm like, oh,
good.
yeah, it feels nice.
Okay, we got a train in real life, which is also kind of translating to the cloud. I feel like there's a cloud train too, but it's like not as, you know, jarring to the nervous system as real life trains. It's like a nice little soothing train where you can just kind of not silent, but like just, yeah, just a soothing noises. And you can jump on. Oh, we can go anywhere with this
Mhm.
cloud train. We can leave
Do
the
we want to
library.
move on? For me, the
I don't
dog
know.
also felt like it was like the human parts are welcome in this realm, you know.
Ah, I like that. No, we don't have to get on the train at all. But if people listening are like, let's get on and you do your own adventure, I like it, you know. It's definitely here if and when we ever want to go anywhere. It's yellow,
Oh, that's so
but like
cool.
not always. I just saw it as yellow right now.
Cool. I like the feeling that you can really live here. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
Everything about this is appealing to me. It's just like this type of existence being very like in sustainably enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all kinds of aspects of existence can happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just decided I was like, do I want to hop on the train? And went right back here. I was like, whoop. It's like stay here right now.
We're staying here. That's cool. It
Just
also
enjoying
kind of
it.
feels like there's a university feel, like
Yes.
we're on a
Like I was definitely seeing like advancements and like innovations and
Mhm.
inventions and stuff happening.
Yeah.
There's definitely like an integrated scientific aspect because I
Mm.
just keep seeing
Yes.
like those types of people like writing on chalkboard type energy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that too. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most excited about in this next chapter, and that I really hope I get to be. I feel like I am supposed to be a part of it in some way. Talk like spirituality and science really collaborating in ways that just haven't been seen in our
Mm,
recent memory.
mhm.
And I was just kind of daydreaming about it myself the other day, just like, I don't know physics or whatever, but I try to read a lot of physics articles because something about it just feels like it's pulling me, even if I don't understand the articles or whatever. So I feel like it's fun. It would be fun to like talk to physicists and just talk the way I talk about my understanding of whatever you know, the world, the dimensions, blah, 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 insert whatever here. And then they would be like, oh my gosh, that corresponds to like this blah, blah, mathematical equation or this law of physics or,
Right.
whatever it is. And I'd be like, we could help each other rewrite our understandings of the cosmos and just create a new cosmology that way, because that's what's happening, like the cosmology we had worked in the old system, but we need a new one for the new system.
Mhm.
And it would just be really, really cool. I just have been feeling into that ambassador role for myself where I can, because I've tasted so many different worlds and I don't belong to one certain thing. I like to, taste a lot of different things. And so I can talk to so many different people
Mhm.
with other interests and like varied interests. And I can be like, yeah, and I know this and I know that. And we can like talk about this and like, oh, you're changing my perspective here. And with the real fun collaborations where there before has been a lot of separation and boundaries, and um, taking all that stuff down and really making a whole big fun playroom of stuff. I don't know.
Cool. It's interesting because the third member of our Dragon Tree Collective, Pearl, is like very
Yeah.
also interested in science and spirituality fusion.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Oh, the brown dragon is now serving yellow lemonade with a little
Mm.
pink swirl of something in it. I don't know. It's so delightful and refreshing. And it doesn't, it tastes like lemonade, but like it tastes like also it's made of clouds. It feels like I'm on mushrooms. It's really fun. Really fun. Oh, I just remembered I have a lemon tree in the room that I'm in.
Oh,
Yeah. My sister left it for me, and it hasn't grown any lemons yet. It's like a baby, and it'll grow lemons in like, I don't know, a few years or something. But
lemons are such a weird thing that we decided to like cast aspersions on. Like
yeah,
the expression when life gives you lemons,
the
it's like such a
lemons are awesome.
yeah, it's like such a wonderful thing, and like they're so
Yeah.
beautiful to look. Like it's like bright sunshine yellow, cheerful, like flavor enhancer, delicious.
Yeah. Oh, lemons are the best.
It felt like some of that energy when you were saying, just like
Yeah.
lemons are nice.
Mhm. They are.
It's like when life gives you lemons, like celebrate.
Yeah. Thank you. I like that. Much better.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff with kids. I feel like,
Okay.
I mean, I feel like this energy, like bringing it into this realm, I guess
Mhm.
is where it's realm is coming through a lot. Like this earth realm that I'm in right now, from that is like very much through like art and writing and books and things like that for me right now. But it's just really, I was just getting like hits about like, it's like they really take you there. I don't know, at least for me that was the case when I read books as a kid. There were books with like certain energies to them that just like
Oh
really
yeah.
took me to another realm, like just the mood or the
Totally.
whatever, like the vibe of the illustrations was so powerful, and it would like plant seeds.
Yeah. That makes me think of the projects that I want to be involved in, especially with you, where it's multimedia of all kinds. It's
Yeah.
like books, illustrations, music,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, video games. I don't know, just like combination of all the things that just kind of go together in a big old package of awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite composers, I'm just remembering this because he announced it on Twitter, I don't know, last week or something. I don't know if anybody knows Bear McCreary. He's a famous composer. He did like the Battlestar Galactica themes and God of War video
Oh.
game theme, and just he's so brilliant. Anyway, um, he's working on a new project, or maybe it's already out or will be out soon, where he's creating the music for it, but it's also like a graphic novel, and it's also something else. I can't remember. It was kind of the same thing where, but obviously, his version of that, where it just felt like a multimedia experience. And I was like, that is exactly what I'm talking about. My own version, obviously, but like he's coming out with it in real time, and I'm pretty excited.
Awesome. That's really awesome. Whew. Yeah. I was just asking my iguana guys, like, is there anything else before I head out? And he sent some hearts.
Oh, thank you for the hearts, iguana friend.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's very cute.
Man, this energy is so incredible.
Yeah, it's super nice and soft. It's super chill vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I'm so curious if anybody else saw other beings or
Yeah.
versions of themselves or something.
Yeah, if you do this journey with us and you see stuff, please share. Our email is spacecatshappyhour@gmail.com. I want to know.
Oof, I'm feeling it. Like it's like I don't know, when I'm like really cleared out and clear, like my central channel up through my body, just it's like I can feel energy going from the bottom whoosh to the top, and it's just like it's it's whooshing right now. It's kind of like chugging through some stuff in the chest area, but like whoop whoop. There we go. Whoop. Yeah, if anybody needed the reassuring words of like there's no rush on the journey of like this place or doing our things that have this energy or whatever. There's no rush.
Yeah, if you start to see the number 47 everywhere, that's the Lemurian. It takes the time it takes, energy. It's all
Yes.
good. It's all
Yes.
good. We're gonna get there, and we're already there, but like we're just watching it unfold and experiencing it unfolding, and it's very much just enjoy, you know, all those sensory experiences. We're building lots of cool things.
Oh, that just reminds me, I've been having crazy taste bud stuff since January.
Oh, yeah. Since January?
Yeah, just all over the place. So something is rewiring in my taste buds.
I have definitely felt a lot of circuitry work on myself for
Yeah.
like definitely January or first part of February. I was like, whoa. And I think it's obviously still continuing or whatever, but it was pretty intense in January or first part of February.
And I had a little bit of that energy again, when you pop in, when like it's like the colors are more vibrant or whatever. Like sometimes it's like tastes are super incredible. I think I was talking about that before, like it was happening with my mom, where she was like really like everything tasted incredible to her, like she was on weed or something. I had that with a meal a few days ago, where everything tasted incredible, but then I ate this orange. It's like this is like the ultimate orange. It's like this is like so perfectly orangey.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, it was
Yum.
yeah. Yeah, it's been really weird stuff. I'll just throw that out there in case anybody else. Really weird stuff with my taste buds, including like a lot of like unpleasant tastes in my mouth, but specifically on my tongue. But it doesn't interfere with my enjoyment of food. Like it's not. It doesn't feel like annoying. Like it's not like bad. Like
Yeah.
I don't love the unpleasant taste on my tongue, but it's not like super. It's whatever, and then it doesn't like affect anything. Like if I eat and drink, everything still tastes fine. So it's just
Good.
very strange. It kind of started to ease off the past few days though, so it might be something that phases.
Definitely sounds like a rewiring of some sort for sure.
Ooh, that's nice. Felt the chest stuff clear out.
Good.
Now it's up in my forehead and crown area. Wee! Ooh, that's nice.
Maybe the train whistle can help blow it out. Like, whoosh, woo, up through the crown. And now the dragon is handing me an apple.
Nice.
Feels like a little farewell gift.
Mm.
It's also also an onion. I get onions a lot. I have dreams where people give me onions and I'm eating them like apples.
Mm.
Anyway.
That just reminds me of the Seinfeld episode.
The Seinfeld episode?
Yeah, there's this Seinfeld episode where I think George is trying to prove that he can still see
Uh-oh.
without his glasses.
Oh no.
So
George.
he spots a dime from across Jerry's apartment and he's like, is that a like 1979, whatever? And Jerry's like, what? But then he goes to the fridge and he takes out an onion and starts eating it like an apple. and then he's trying to
really?
Yeah, then he's trying to play it off like he meant to do it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Like, I don't know what's going on. You're spotting dimes, you're eating onions. And I quote that all the time. You're spotting dimes, you're eating onions.
You're spotting dimes, you're eating onions. I've not seen that episode. So this is a really funny experience for me.
One of my favorite bits and quotes. Spotting dimes, you're eating onions.
Apparently I am George.
Well, it felt like what you said, like very gentle packets, like an apple is like knowledge, but like an onion, you just keep peeling away the layers. It's like a gentle gift of like downloads or something that will come.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nice. Oh, I asked the brown dragon if he had anything for me. He's unrolled a super long like fruit roll-up type thing, like it's just unrolling toy.
That's amazing.
I don't know what that represents, but cute.
Fruit roll-up sounds so
nice
good right now.
in my mouth. I was like, here's a treat.
Yeah. It's also a very like playful kid treat we used to have.
Yes.
It's like more just like you're saying, the child energy kind of stuff where they all exist together and they're all, equally important to nourish.
Yeah, this has got me. I'm like, should I be vaping?
It's so hilarious because I just got a couple vapes. Like the blue, like somebody gave me one. And I
Are
was
they
like,
flavored?
Yeah. Somebody gave me like a peppermint cream one. I was like, this tastes really good. And then, but it has nicotine in it, which I don't want nicotine necessarily, even though, yes, I know I smoke cigarettes, but it's like the act of smoking. It's not, anyway, whatever. I'm not going to justify it, but I got non-nicotine vapes for myself. Like once this other person had given me something, I was like, I kind of just want the flavor.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, do non-nic, I think I want vape, non-nicotine.
Yeah. I mean, you can taste the chemicals and stuff. It's like a puff. Like sometimes I'll smoke it too much and I'll just only taste chemicals. So it's just like take a puff here and there, exactly the way we're kind of describing the energy right now, where you're just like slowly, every so often, like take a little puff, taste some strawberries, peaches, whatever,
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I did not expect to come out of this being like, I'm gonna
coming out of this journey to the clouds, like, yes, vaping time.
Never know what messages are coming through.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Well, I feel like my body kind of needs me to like close out from.
Yeah.
Even though it was very gentle, I'm still like, especially because I'm in the premenstrual phase right now. I gotta be careful with my stimuli.
Mhm.
Whew. Oh, all right. Thanks,
Definitely.
lovely guides. Thanks, affirming them all as I close it out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Just asking for extra support to just help this ground into the body in a really gentle. Well, that was fun.
Oh boy. I am really glad we did that. Wow. Thank you, Zadikat, for opening that portal and taking us on the little journey.
Talk about the
Whew.
magic of libraries, eh?
I know, right? Whew. Well,
So cool. So cool, like anyone can make a library too.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like all
uh,
those little free libraries that now exist in neighborhoods, like,
yeah,
or, and that's just a start. Like, you're right. You can make one.
which I always get messages that like my book is supposed to go in those for just some kid to like happen upon it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, space cats, that was a nice one.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it. Such soothing energy. It's completely stopped snowing.
Okay, then. Needed to be, the clouds had a message for us with the snow. And
Mm-hmm.
now, and now it's like, okay, you're done with your journey. You can go out and enjoy. I don't know if it's sunny now, but it's sunny here.
It
So,
is. No, it is.
okay,
Like a mixture of cloud and sun, but with a lot of sun coming through.
nice.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
definitely gonna go get some of that energy.
Yeah, I'm
Woo!
gonna,
I
luckily
feel
there's no snow
great right now.
here.
I feel
Oh, me
so
too. I
good.
feel good. I feel really good too. And I was just gonna say, luckily I don't have snow here because now I can go put my feet in the grass and really like grounded. It's cold, but that's okay because it's a nice feeling to feel that earth hurts moving up frequency up through the beat portals.
Super nice. Oh, wow. How lovely.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
happy leap day.
Happy Leap
Happy-
Day, guys.
You're the dragon leap day. Oh
Try to
my
get this
God.
out today so that it still slides in into that leap day energy.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't forget that post for that link for your drawing.
oh
I want to
yes,
see it.
yes,
If
yes.
you can, if it's not too much trouble. If not, just obviously go to Zadikat's Instagram and look at all of the amazing
Oh yeah, MS
drawings.
Painter underscore 2000, I think. Anyway, if you go to Zadikat, then it's in like my links or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'll try to post the link. Woo! I am like loopy doopy. Okay,
Feeling good. I
so
love
long,
you.
space cats. Until next time, love you. Uh,